Dollar. Dirt on money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We're back, baby. Back with another round of the SpongeBob conspiracy. This is number 8, the time traveling ghost pirate theory. Time travel. We got a ghost pirate. Oh, Lord.
It's a lot, ain't it?
Hey, man, with that being said, before we get into it today, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you have to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals.
Like it with a thumbs up.
What she said, y'all. But let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get into it, y'all.
Before I get into how these characters connect, I have to explain the tragic backstory of Patchy the Pirate.
I'm Patchy the Pirate, president of the SpongeBob SquarePants fan club!
Patchy the Pirate is the president of the SpongeBob fan club, and they often cut to him during special episodes to host the show and talk to the audience. He fits in perfectly with my television theory, and clearly works for the in-universe SpongeBob SquarePants showrunners as some kind of mascot for the show.
Boring! Well, if it isn't my less than amusing sidekick, Patchy the Parrot.
Patchy is this weird, lonely guy whose only friend is a talking parrot who's constantly harassing him, and I'm also pretty sure Patchy wants to eat him.
Shiver me timbers, it's Patchy! I wonder what parrot tastes like!
But that's not what this theory is about. If you rewatch all the episodes with Patchy, you start to notice a bit of a disturbing development with his character. Patchy has devoted his entire life to SpongeBob, but that devotion is very one-sided, and the more time that goes on, the more resentful Patchy becomes of SpongeBob. In the season 3 episode Party Pooper Pants, Patchy throws a house party and tries to invite SpongeBob, but he doesn't show up.
Say, you didn't bring SpongeBob with you, did you? Gee, I sure hope he got his invitation.
I'd sure like to go to this party, but I can't read the invitation.
But Patchy doesn't really seem to be that upset about it.
Ah, well.
But then things start to take a turn in the episode The Sponge Who Could Fly. Patchy follows a map and goes on a crazy adventure to find the legendary Lost SpongeBob episode, and after finally getting it, this is what plays.
That's it? That's the lost episode? That was just a bunch of cheap walk cycles! What a rip!
So, Patchy got let down by SpongeBob again, but I'm sure he'll get over it just like last time.
SpongeBob betrayed us! I'm sorry I ever started this stupid fan club in the first place!
Patchy has a full-on mental breakdown. Now, eventually he does find the real Lost episode and goes back to normal, but this is just the start of Patchy's transformation into a much darker character. In the season 6 episode Truth or Square, Patchy throws a massive television extravaganza to celebrate 10 years of SpongeBob. There is a ton of production value and celebrities that Patchy managed to get. There is no way SpongeBob wouldn't show up for it.
SpongeBob SquarePants! What do you mean he's not coming? 10 years I've been president in his fan club!
Patchy has dedicated 10 years of his life to SpongeBob, and he can't even be bothered to show up once. And this never even gets resolved in the episode either. Patchy tries to find SpongeBob, thinks he's about to meet him, but then it turns out it was all just a dream.
Mister, are you okay?
SpongeBob?
No, it's just me, the guy in the penny.
Patchy's one-sided obsession with SpongeBob is making him delusional, and this is by no means the last time Patchy will hallucinate meeting SpongeBob.
Have you ever been that crazy over a celebrity?
I've never been that crazy over a single person. No. Like, that is...
It be people that crazy.
You're obsessed. That's crazy.
Like, it's a lot of crazy folks, like, highly obsessed
No.
with celebrities, man. I'm just like, y'all... Like,
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
In Atlantis SquarePantis, Patchy gets lost in the desert and once again hallucinates SpongeBob.
Uh-oh, here come the hallucinations.
It's me, SpongeBob SquarePants.
But then, in SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, it seems like he finally really does meet SpongeBob.
From your biggest fan. Huh? I have a fan?
Surprise! It's Patchy the Pirate! Happy birthday, SpongeBob!
Thank you, Patchy.
But even if they don't explicitly say it, this is definitely another hallucination. It's right after he crashed into an island, and he's just a severed head for some reason, and he can breathe underwater. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is a hallucination. They have another alleged meeting in SpongeBob's Road to Christmas special, but this time Patchy's fully animated for some reason, so I'm pretty skeptical about this one too. In fact, I'm gonna come back to this one. Keep it in mind because it's gonna be very important later on. So, as much as Patchy worships SpongeBob and wants to meet him, he never will. And you don't have to take my word for it either. In a 2009 WonderCon panel with some of the actors and creators of SpongeBob, they talk about the rules they have for writing the show, including the fact that Patchy can never meet SpongeBob.
His character has evolved into this pirate that's obsessed with SpongeBob. Well, they can never meet. Right?
Well, yeah, they can never meet. There's a lot of rules in SpongeBob which are there for a reason, and it's part of the success in a way.
From the very start of his creation, they doomed Patchy to be an obsessed fan who would never meet his idol. He will spend the rest of his life devoted to SpongeBob, but no matter how hard he tries, he will never reach Bikini Bottom, and he will never meet SpongeBob. And unfortunately, that is the tragic story of Patchy the Pirate. But if all of that's true, then I just have one lingering question. How come the dumpster behind the Krusty Krab has a message that reads, Patchy was here? Don't go anywhere, because the time...
Yo, I remember, like...
You remember this?
Not this, but I remember the dumpster in the back. I remember seeing the dumpster in the back with squiggly writing on it, but I never... Damn, you paying attention too, goddamn.
Time-traveling ghost pirate theory is about to get crazy. I'll come back to this message later, but first, we have to talk about the mysterious origins of the Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman is the legendary ghost pirate that haunts Bikini Bottom.
In a pirate ship, the Flying Dutchman descends on Bikini Bottom.
The first time we hear about the Flying Dutchman is in the episode Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost, when SpongeBob finds a comic book about his origins.
It's the origin of the Flying Dutchman. It says when he died, they used his body as a window display. Now he haunts the 7 seas because he was never put to rest.
Now, I've always been a little skeptical about this origin, not just because it's claiming they put an actual human corpse up as display in a kid's store, but because the Flying Dutchman himself contradicts it.
It's a little torn. Of course, it was the shirt I was buried in.
He was never put to rest.
If he was buried, then this origin can't be true. So, who is the Flying Dutchman actually? Well, when I rewatched all the episodes with the Flying Dutchman, I kept noticing that he seems to have some kind of fixation with SpongeBob in particular. In the episode Shanghai, he drops his anchor on SpongeBob's home, which leads to him having to briefly join the Dutchman's crew. Then, in Born Again Krabs, he's about to take Mr. Krabs' soul, but then immediately changes his mind when SpongeBob offers his soul instead. And even in the Camp Coral prequel show, he haunts SpongeBob as a kid. But strangest of all, in Ghost Host, the Dutchman's ship gets destroyed, and out of all the places in Bikini Bottom he could stay, he decides to stay with SpongeBob.
My location where I'll be staying? Business or residence? Residence.
And look at the way he mischievously smiles when he sees SpongeBob. It feels like this is personal for him, but why? The episode Ghost Host is actually the first time we get a bit more depth of the Flying Dutchman's character. At first, he spends all of his time torturing SpongeBob, but eventually, he just wants to stay and hang out with him.
Maybe stay with a friend for a while. Just for a little while longer.
Even though his ship's already been repaired for 3 months.
Actually, I have a confession, SpongeBob. My ship's been done for 3 months now.
It feels like the Dutchman has some kind of vendetta against SpongeBob specifically, but also, deep down, he's just lonely and wants to be SpongeBob's friend. And does that remind you of anyone? Someone who's desperate to be SpongeBob's friend, but also has a deep resentment towards him. Okay, but there's like a bunch of reasons why the Flying Dutchman couldn't be the ghost of Patchy the Pirate. I mean, for starters, they look totally different, right? Different shirt, different hat, and most importantly, the Dutchman doesn't have the iconic hook and eye patch that Patchy does. This is the point where I was about to give up and scrap this theory, but Then I decided to rewatch the Season 1 episode, Arg, where SpongeBob plays a board game called The Flying Dutchman's Treasure that's actually based on the Flying Dutchman's real map.
The Flying Dutchman's Treasure Hunt.
Based on a real treasure map.
And then I noticed something. One of the game cards actually shows a picture of the Flying Dutchman. I mean, look, he clearly has the same nose and face as him, but this looks like a picture of when he was still alive and had a darker black beard. But the hat he's wearing is not the usual Flying Dutchman hat. It is the exact same hat Patchy the Pirate wears. Okay, but he still doesn't have the eye patch and the hook hand, right? Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Neither does Patchy. Patchy's hook is always switching hands, and he constantly takes off his eye patch, because Patchy isn't a real pirate. He's just pretending to be one.
The great thing about Patchy is that he lives in Encino, California. But he's a pirate. But the only thing that makes him a pirate is that he says he's one and dresses like one.
Okay, fine, but the shirt is still very different. You know, the Dutchman's is all open and it's got those stripy things. Patchy's is more fancy with the big white puffy collar and cuffs. Well, in the Curse of Bikini Bottom, we see the Flying Dutchman's closet and he pulls out the exact same shirt that Patchy wears. Same fancy puffy collar, same cuffs. Fine, okay? Maybe Patchy the Pirate and the Dutchman look the same. But that doesn't mean they're the same person. It's time we address the elephant in the room. The Flying Dutchman can't be Patchy's ghost because Patchy is alive at the same time we see the Flying Dutchman. Like, in order for this theory to be true, Patchy would have to die and then the Dutchman's ghost would show up. But they're simultaneously existing at the same time. Patchy even shows up during an episode all about the Flying Dutchman, and he even calls it his favorite episode.
We're gonna see me favorite show, Shanghai. Ta-da!
It is physically impossible for Patchy and the Dutchman to be the same person. Or is it? Things are about to get stranger. When I rewatched all the episodes with the Flying Dutchman, I noticed something strange. In the Season 7 episode, The Curse of Bikini Bottom, the Dutchman gets a girlfriend, but starts to freak out when she wants to get married.
She wants to marry me! I ain't the marrying type!
But the Dutchman not being the marrying type isn't entirely true. Back in Season 3 during Ghost Host, we see that the Dutchman was once married.
Is that a wedding ring?
Oh, this show's nothing.
Alright, but so what? You know, this just seems like a small continuity error between seasons, no surprise for SpongeBob. But in the Season 6 special, SpongeBob vs. the Big One, there's an even stranger moment like this. The Flying Dutchman bumps into Mr. Krabs and says this to him.
Ah! It's a Flying Dutchman! Ah! It's some guy I've never seen before!
He says he's never met Mr. Krabs before, but there are 2 whole episodes from previous seasons dedicated to the Dutchman trying to steal Mr. Krabs' soul for being too greedy. They're even on a first-name basis.
Eugene Krabs! It's some guy I've never seen before!
Alright, so another weird inconsistency with the Dutchman, but I'm still not convinced that it's not just lazy writing. But back in The Curse of Bikini Bottom, there's a moment that cannot be written off as another continuity error. SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally shave off the Dutchman's beard, and the Dutchman claims the beard won't grow back for another 1,000 years.
Your beard will just grow back.
You know nothing of my facial hair! It'll take 1,000 years for my beard to grow back!
But by the end of the episode, we cut to several months later, and his beard is back.
The curse will wear off when my beard grows back.
Several months later.
She wants to marry me!
It's not like this is just some plot point they forgot about between episodes. This several months later is in the same episode where the Dutchman says the beard takes 1,000 years to grow back.
It'll take 1,000 years for my beard to grow back.
Several months later.
Why the fuck would they include this line if they were just gonna contradict it a few minutes later in the same goddamn episode?
No!
Oh, he in his feelings, bro.
He said that was...
Bro was going off. He said it with his chest.
He said it with his whole chest.
See, he said, why the...
I hear you.
Oh, man, he got pissed off that fast, bro.
He even blatantly mentioned that it's several months later twice, as if they're trying to make you realize how inconsistent it is.
Several months later.
Well, here we are several months later.
So, what does any of this mean? Why are the writers of SpongeBob intentionally making the Flying Dutchman as inconsistent as possible? Well, the only way that this makes sense to me is if we're seeing the Flying Dutchman non-chronologically. And by that I mean, the Flying Dutchman is time traveling. Just bear with me for a second. For SpongeBob, only several months have passed, but for the Dutchman, it actually was 1,000 years later. The Dutchman didn't recognize Mr. Krabs in season 6 because for him, this is the first time they've met. And from his perspective, the episodes where he tries to take Mr. Krabs' soul haven't happened yet. The Dutchman's not the marrying type in season 7, but he probably actually does end up getting married to the giant monster, and that's why we see him with a ring in season 4, because the past is the future for the Flying Dutchman. Whoa. Okay, let's calm down for a second there, Alex. This time travel idea does fix a lot of problems with the Dutchman's continuity, but claiming a character has time travel powers is a major leap. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Flying Dutchman is a very powerful ghost. He can teleport, he can shapeshift, he can grant wishes, but we've never seen him manipulate time.
You get 3 wishes.
Wishes? I wish we had known that earlier.
Okay, you got 2 wishes left.
Huh. Okay, so the Dutchman's time traveling. And you know what this means? The Flying Dutchman could absolutely be the ghost of Patchy the Pirate, and I'm gonna prove it.
Delta Patchy the Pirate.
So, if Patchy the Pirate eventually becomes the Flying Dutchman, that means at some point in the future, Patchy is going to die. Except, here's the thing. I think Patchy is already dead in present day, and we have already seen his death on screen. Remember that Christmas special I told you would be important later on? It's the season 13 episode SpongeBob's Road to Christmas, and as of recording this, it's the latest episode in the SpongeBob timeline. SpongeBob does meet Patchy in this episode, but for some reason, he's fully animated instead of using the usual live-action style.
Ahoy, SpongeBob and Patrick! It's me, Patchy the Pirate!
It honestly feels kind of creepy for some reason, especially since the creators themselves said that Patchy could never meet SpongeBob.
Well, they can never meet, right?
Well, yeah, they can never meet.
Is it possible that this isn't the real Patchy? Well, the last time we saw live-action Patchy was in SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, and that episode ended with him being fired out of a cannon and crashing into an island.
That would be a plot twist.
After that, Patchy's severed head shows up and meets SpongeBob. But I already explained how this is clearly just another hallucination, and he's probably just gonna wake up on the island disappointed that he didn't actually meet SpongeBob like every other time. But what if this is something more than just a simple dream that he can wake up from? I mean, the last shot we saw of the real Patchy was him and Potty face down in the sand, struggling to get out. What if they didn't? And this is what Patchy is hallucinating as he dies. During this hallucination, he begins singing the show's theme song with SpongeBob to wrap up the episode.
Oh, who's having a birthday under the sea?
But as they're singing, we briefly cut to this horrifying shot of Patchy's body with Potty's head lying on the island, violently convulsing in pain. It happened so quick that I didn't even process it the first time. But goddamn, that is some terrifying imagery for a kid's show. Why the fuck did they show this? Is this some kind of PG symbolic way to show Patchy and Potty suffocating to death in the sand? Holy shit! Okay, so let's say Patchy and Potty, the hosts of the SpongeBob SquarePants television show, are dead. What happens now? Well, the show must go on. The SpongeBob SquarePants television show has to continue without him, but they need a new host to replace Patchy. Except, are they really gonna tell their young audience that their beloved Patchy the Pirate and Potty the Parrot are dead? No, they're gonna replace them with animated actors.
And they're using actors.
Hey, that's showbiz for you. But what happened to the real Patchy after he died? Well, he became a ghost and could finally meet his idol SpongeBob, except when he goes to Bikini Bottom, what would he see? SpongeBob and all of his friends partying without him. Patchy dedicated his entire life to SpongeBob. He even died for him, and SpongeBob never even knew Patchy existed. And that resentment that's been building up inside of Patchy for all of these years finally explodes. And this is how Patchy the Pirate becomes the Flying Dutchman. Patchy is done pretending to be a pirate and dressing up in his fake costumes. He gets a new look, a new identity, and now he can finally live out the fantasy of being a real pirate. Remember that board game that they said was based on a real map from the Flying Dutchman?
Based on a real treasure map.
We never really did see the map that it was based on, Or did we? Remember when Patchy was looking for the lost SpongeBob episode? He used this map to find it. Now, at first I thought these two maps didn't look all that similar, but the more I looked at it, the more my mind was blown. Same red X in the middle, you got the compass, the palm trees, a turtle, a fish, but most importantly, they both have the forked tree.
Half a league to the forked tree.
Look for the deacon's goose through the fork in the old tree.
That is a very specific detail. You would not just see that on any random map. The Flying Dutchman based his map off of the one from his past. So, he's become the Flying Dutchman now, and his main target for haunting is, of course, the one who ignored him his entire life, SpongeBob SquarePants. But how did Patchy become such a powerful ghost who can even manipulate time itself? Well, there's actually an episode in Season 12 called The Ghost of Plankton that gives us a pretty clear understanding of how ghost powers work. It basically just takes time and effort to grow your powers. Patchy's already given SpongeBob 20 years of dedication, might as well go a little further with it as the Dutchman. Patchy travels back in time to visit all of his favorite, most cherished SpongeBob episodes, including his favorite episode, Shanghai.
We're gonna see me favorite show, Shanghai.
Except now, he's not just watching the episode. He's the one in control, and he's gonna make SpongeBob pay for everything he's done. And he's gonna make him pay over and over and over again. But then, we get to the episode Ghost Host. Patchy initially moves in with SpongeBob to torture him, but as much as he tries to deny it, deep down, he's still that devoted fanboy who just wants SpongeBob to be his friend. As much as he wants to pretend to be the Dutchman, deep down, Patchy is still here. And that is why, if you go to the Krusty Krab after closing, and you go out the back to the dumpster, you can still read the words, Patchy was here. Yes, he certainly was. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the time-traveling ghost pirate theory. Thank you very much. Oh shit, what about Potty? He died with Patchy too, right? What the hell happened to him? I can figure this out. Just give me a second. Let me just quickly rewatch every single episode of SpongeBob. Gotta watch the spin-offs too. Okay, let me see. The motherfucker ate him!
I wonder what pirate tastes like.
That is the time-traveling ghost pirate theory, baby! I am done! See ya!
See ya. Whoa. This motherfucker really ate the...
Well, he said he wanted to know what it tastes like. I was wondering what he
See, that's sick. That is sick.
I mean, hey, that's what he did.
The motherfucker ate the...
And how you gonna make me pay for something? I didn't even know you exist. You know what I'm saying? You knew me. You was a fan of me. You was obsessed with me. I didn't even know you was...
That's sad, bro.
That is sad.
R.I.P. to the little Perry, man. But if both of y'all die, how you... What, you ate his ghost?
R.I.P. to the...
Or did you go dig up the body?
I ain't gonna overthink it, but R.I.P.
He ain't have to do the bird like my mama bird.
My mama bird. I'm done.
But the theory does make sense. Low key, it does make sense.
If you put it, yeah. That's the only way, like, to kind of explain it.
Yeah. But hey, man, y'all spam us up. Let us know y'all thoughts about it in the comment section down below. We're going to do the Magic School Bus one as well, man. I'm ready to see the Magic School Bus, dude. This one right here?
Yeah.
I'm ready for that one, man. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are. We out.
Time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar.